You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your hosts, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
You should see a beautiful young woman of God pop up, and we're going to talk to her on today. Now, Lady Marichael, if you can bring in your video on today, then we can see you. We saw you a few seconds ago. We'll bring you back in so I can see your vid. There you are. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You're looking well as usual.
Thank you. Thank you.
If many of you don't know, I'm going to read her bio, but this is the lovely, the beautiful Lady Marichael Lockhart. And I'm frantic because I finally got her on my show. She is going to tell us a thing or two on today. Now, what I did when I talked with Lady Marichael, I told her, I said, I want to have you on a Ministry Spouses segment. This is a segment that I believe the Lord has given to me to be able to present to many. Some don't know, because see, sometimes some spouses, they're kind of like, back out of the spotlight, if you will. And maybe that's the position they want to be in. They don't necessarily have to be up front or out in the open, but I like to highlight them because they are such an asset a lot of times to their ministry, but then also they have, if you will, a life outside of their ministry. And so I just love to highlight them. And this young woman of God is nothing less than that. So I wanted to bring her today to talk to you. Let's see here. I'm going to read a little bio that I have for her. Lady Marichael Lockhart is a native of Chicago, Illinois. She accepted Christ as her personal savior and was filled with the Holy Ghost at the tender age of 8 under the pastorate of the late Bishop Shepherd Little. Lady Lockhart remained a faithful and loyal member of the King of Glory Tabernacle Church of God in Christ for over 38 years. After completing her secondary education, Lady Lockhart matriculated at the University of Illinois, where she majored in business administration. Thereafter, she began her 14-year career in the medical service industry at several prestigious hospitals in the Chicagoland area. During her tenure, her love and talent for graphic design and production intensified, emerged into entrepreneurship, and as a result, New Glory Enterprise Incorporated was birthed. Lady Lockhart is co-owner, vice president, and chief operating officer of New Glory Enterprise Incorporated. The company provides its clients with professional services in the areas of marketing consulting, graphic design, and production. It became one of the fastest growing firms of its kind in Illinois. And I can attest to that. I remember when that happened. In 2007, Lady Lockhart founded the Blog Sisters, a private blog group specifically designed for women. This group used its platform to motivate women in their everyday lives. It was also used as a vehicle to keep women encouraged by serving delicious food for thought. The Blog Sisters group remained active for 4 years. In 2010, Lady Lockhart founded Ladies of Life, LIFE, a subsidiary of the nonprofit organization Life Foundation for All. Ladies of Life was also a group that was organized to motivate women to increase their quality of life. Later, it became Lady Lockhart's Out of the Gate Facebook blog. This blog group remained active for 5 years and was discontinued in 2015 due to other obligations that Lady Lockhart needed to fulfill. Now you guys see, she's got a whole litany of lifestyle achievements, if you will. I want to get down to this. She is the first lady of Glory Cathedral Ministries, Church of God in Christ, where she serves as director of the women's ministry. She complements the ministry with her wisdom, honor, and tenacity, while she simultaneously displays her love, passion, and devotion. She is at her zenith whenever she witnesses the vision of Glory Cathedral Ministries being exhibited. She has graciously partnered with her husband in marriage, business, and ministry. Power couple. Her personal motto is saved, subject, and successful. Saved to the Lord, subject to her own husband, and successful in business and ministry. Not only is she the wife of her amazing husband, Pastor Kenneth Lockhart, but she is also the mother of her adorable daughter, Alexis Gabrielle Lockhart. Okay, please welcome again to Mind, Body, and Soul, Lady Marichael Lockhart. I didn't read everything. But many of you know Lady Lockhart, and I wanted to make sure that she's introduced to those of you who don't know her. Lady Lockhart, I will say this. Pastor Kenneth, I'm telling you, he's been instrumental, of course, in First Jurisdiction down through the years. Now I'm gonna tell you, I didn't even know Lady Lockhart, I didn't know how you looked, okay? I'm gonna say this because, you know, he was always in the limelight. And I didn't like, okay, where is she, you know? But see, that's just the type of person that you are. You don't need to be out in the limelight, or probably don't want to be. But that's a testament to who you are, though. You know, you don't have to be, hey, this is me, I'm Pastor Kenneth's wife or whatever, da 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 da, you know, but that shows your strength as well. So when I finally got to know who you were, I was like, oh wow, she's beautiful. And I love the way she carries herself. So I just want to throw that in just so you know, because down through the years, like I said, I didn't know how you looked. I didn't know. Because you know, you weren't out there. But that's okay. But you were standing with your husband, and that we do appreciate. We appreciate that. So we're going to talk today, and I told Lady Marichael that I'm going to let her loose on today because she definitely has a testimony. She has a story that I want everyone to hear about. But before we go into that particular story, kind of talk to us a little bit about you, yourself, in your own words. I know I read your bio, most of it, but talk to us about you. If someone was to come and ask you about yourself, what would you say?
Well, I would just tell them that I'm just me. I'm just who I am. And I realized that the first thing, about me is that I know that I'm different. And for a long time, I had a problem accepting that. But I am who God has made me. I'm comfortable with being that. I'm not, the type where I have to have anybody sanctioning and saying, oh, it's okay to be you, or it's okay to do this or to do that. I'm just real comfortable being who God has made me. And I listen to you talk about being in the limelight. That has never been me, really. I've just always stood in the background, and not that I felt that I was inferior or anything like that. I never had that kind of complex. It's just who God made me. I always got things done in the background. I was always moving around in the background. Everything was the background. I was the Sunday school secretary for 15 years, and I never read the minutes. I mean, maybe twice. I would kind of pay people, if you come up here and read this, and so the shy person, I can talk when it's not a lot of people, but I was just kind of to myself, and it didn't make me inhuman. I just was being who God created me to be. But the more I accepted the fact that God was calling me to more than just the background, so that's kind of why I'm here today, because otherwise I wouldn't have been. But I've accepted the fact who God has made me. I'm really comfortable with that. And no, I still don't need all the rah-rahs. I don't need, the pedestal. I don't need to sit on the throne and none of that. I know who I am, and I know whose I am, and I'm real comfortable with that. I'm real down to earth. And most people probably don't know that about me because they've not gotten to know me. And some people would tell me, when I was younger, oh, I thought, before they really got to know, I thought you were just stuck up. Me? No, that's not me. But the thing is, people don't get to know you. And that's a real pet peeve of mine, because I think you should be introduced to the person for yourself. You need to find out who a person is for yourself and not judge them based on what you see or even what you've heard. Get to know the person for yourself. So I'm real big on that, because later in life, I found out people think I'm something that I'm not. And then, with being the first lady thing, I had a problem with the word first lady. I just had a problem with that, because it sent off, first of all, the signal that there was a second or perhaps a third or fourth lady. No, I'm the only lady, but, and I'm proud to say that. But even beyond that, I was more comfortable with just calling me Lady Lockhart, because I'm a lady at all times. But, I got past even some of that. They call me First Lady. That's the title that's given. So I've accepted a lot of things, but I still am who I am. And I'm very comfortable in being who I am. The audio, I'm not hearing you, Annette.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. All right. That was actually a very good summary of yourself. And, I think that you're setting forth a good example, if you will, because I'm going to tread here lightly but too many times I see where individuals who are, whose spouse may be in the limelight and they just got to run out there and be out there too, but you said you don't have to be in the limelight. It's not something that you seek out or you'll function better if you are in the limelight. But I love how you said that you know who you are and you know whose you are. So sometimes people out there seeking who they are. They don't really know who they are, but you obviously have that Godfidence, if you will, in knowing who you are. So thank you for that. Now, real quick, New Glory Enterprise, is that the name of the?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I don't want to get mixed up. I see all these glories, there's glory with the church. So New Glory Enterprise, is that mainly kind of what you focus on, now in terms of, because it said you kind of came off of your career, and so now you're into the New Glory Enterprise and all that you all present to others. Is this your baby?
This is my baby, and for a long time, I think I was probably about 9. And I had an ear infection, which caused me to have multiple appointments at the hospital. And every time I would go, I would see little flyers on the wall. Of course, I didn't know what it was called then. And I was so intrigued by how they can turn things portrait, then turn them landscape and put all the designs and all the graphics together. I mean, at 9, I was just so intrigued by this, not knowing that this was something that God had birthed in me from that time. Well, anyways, my last job with corporate America was with Rush University, and I was working in the academic computer department. So I had to basically learn the computers, everything was self-learned. They tried to send me to seminars and to teach the classes, but I said, no, I'm not getting anything out of that. So the Lord really just did a self-teaching on the computer and the programs, the software. So when that happened, I realized that it was something more than a job. It was actually something that had been put in me since the age of 9. And so from that point, it was history. New Glory was birthed, and my husband was in marketing. So we took the graphic and production and the marketing and merged it together, and it became one real nice company. So that's what happened with that. And we started out doing obituaries, and that is just my passion. I always wanted to make sure that families had something to look at and something to remember their loved ones by. So, we just put everything that we had into obituaries. And from that point, it just took off.
Wow. Yeah, I remember when it kind of took off in first jurisdiction, and then you kind of look around, like if you're at a funeral or something, I just know New Glory did this. Yeah, this is their work. And it would look so nice and just very professional. And I think we were in first jurisdiction, we felt a little proud, But yeah, it's definitely a blessing. And I see, obviously, your heart. And like you said, you wanted families, when you started out with the obituaries, to be able to have something nice, and probably at least for posterity's sake, to look back on when you lose a loved one. So, but obviously it has expanded, and the Lord is blessing tremendously. So let's get to talking. I want to tell my viewers that I originally asked Lady Lockhart to be a guest on my show. Has it been 3 years now?
It's been about 3 years.
And Lady Lockhart, again, no limelight, okay? So you could probably maybe look at the dictionary and say Lady Lockhart equals no limelight or something, But she was like, I don't know if she actually told me no, but I took it as no. And I said, okay. I said, all right, that's fine. And then it seemed like I would see her at the hair salon, and I would ask her, or I slide it in there, again. And she'll just kind of chuckle a little bit and never would say yeah. She didn't say yeah. And then I was teasing with Pastor Kenneth before we actually came on today, and there would be times where Pastor Kenneth will pop up on my live feeds, guys, and I would like, Pastor Kenneth, can you please talk to your wife for me, please? And I say, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to say it. And then I'll go back to talking to my guests. But anyway, God knows perfect timing.
Yes.
Everything is in his hands. I ended up watching a live feed from one of your church services, I believe it was.
Okay.
And you got up and you were talking about a little bit about your experience. And I said, wow, well, you look at here. And that video circulated and it touched so many individuals. It touched me. And so I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to try again. So to my listeners, and I see you guys on here, and I'm going to allow her to talk on today. I do recognize each of you that are on here, and I do appreciate you for joining us on today. Before I'm going to allow Lady Lockhart to talk, but let me recognize a few of you. I see Pastor Kenneth Lockhart is watching. Is that Foster? And I hate mispronouncing names. Is on. I see Gabrielle is watching. Brandy, I appreciate you. Demetria Brand Triplet. Linda, thank you. Danielle, we appreciate you. Rita Mack. Brenda Anthony. I see it must be a lot of your church members on here. They're saying, hey, that's my first lady. I love it. I love it. I love the support. Let's see. Shania is on. Thanks for watching. Sherry Fuller, Jackson. Let's see. And I can't see the rest of the names, but I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you on today, those of you that have joined in. So please, again, when you come in, like and share, throw some hearts up, throw some thumbs up, because we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of today's topic, our ministry spouses segment. And I'm highlighting the wonderful, the beautiful Lady Marichael Lockhart. So where do you want to start, Lady Marichael?
Well, I just want to talk about this briefly before I go into my testimony, because so many of the people know I started a blog called Let's Get Serious. And that happened a few years back before I had to pause. But people were thinking that, oh, she's just coming out, starting a blog. And I was like, no, the first blog that was started, I found it, was in 2007. And it was the Blog Sisters. It consisted of 6 women, just 6 female women. And the Lord literally blessed this blog. And I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just being honest. I was just being obedient to what the Lord was saying to do. So I got the 5 other women outside of myself. And when I tell you that these women helped to prepare me for what was coming, that I had no idea was coming my way, but it did help me. And it taught me so much, because I had, there were 6 different personalities, 6 very strong women. I mean, and when I say strong women, I mean, with all their different, whatever was going on with them. And God was really teaching me some things that I didn't even know. He was preparing me for a place that was bigger than me. So that blog helped and did so much to help me get prepared for the First Lady thing, if you have it, that I had no idea was happening. And it went so well, we eventually moved it to Facebook, and it was called the Ladies of Life. And that went on for a while with women only. And that ended because, my attention was needed with the ministry. So I had to just cool down on that and do what I needed to do to assist in the ministry. However, the blog, it just never left me. So when God gives you something, even if you have to pause it for a moment, it's not going anywhere. It's what he's giving you to do. So when I came back out, I think in 2017 with the blog, people that didn't know about all the previous blogs, they thought it was something new, but it was nothing new. It was what God had given me. And I've always known that I've had a passion for women. And it's because of all that I've endured as a woman. So I just always had this desire, this burning desire to encourage them and to motivate them. But because I was so shy and because I was always in the background, it happened, over the telephone or via text or on the computer. So now people, she's just breaking out. But this is what I know the Lord had for me to do. So this is what I'm doing. And I said all of that to say what I'm saying, as far as when God gives you a vision or a passion or something to do, it's your purpose. And my biggest struggle has not been people. It's been me. I have been my biggest problem. But when I learned how to deal with me, and I learned how to get me in my place, then I embraced what God had for me to do. So people may think, oh, what in the world is she doing? I'm doing what I've been called to do. And because you've not always seen it, doesn't mean that I wasn't doing it. But now it's just God's timing to make it a little more visible. So I'm so past me, I'm so over me, and I'm just focused on doing what I know he has called me to do. And along with the passion for women, God gave me a passion for the millennials and the Generation X. And, so that's when I came out with this blog, and it's for women, men, it's for whoever wants to be a part. And it's called the Let's Get Serious Now. I do have a like page, and it's called Let's Get Serious. And, they can look it up, go like, follow, or whatever, because there's some things that are going to be coming down the pipe that the Lord has given me, and anybody that's interested can go there and check that out. So now I'm known as the blogger. Now everybody's saying, oh, she can talk. Yeah, I can, I've never really had a problem with talking. It's just that, things were just in the background. But I know the Lord has called me to a different place. And as far as the ministry and even, the first lady role, my passion, I love the people. My biggest trial has been with people, but it's strange because I really love people. I do. And in particular, the Glory Cathedral Ministries, where God has saw fit to make my husband pastor. And I realized that when he called him, he also called me. He did. And my word or message that I would give to any woman that may desire to be a first lady, because some people, some ladies really want that. Oh, I would love to be, a first lady. I would love to be a pastor's wife. I would love to be in that seat and all of that. And that's good. Let me tell y'all, it's good that you would want to be that. But my thing is, if you're not called to be that, I wouldn't want to be that, because the first lady role is much more than the glamour that's put on it. The first thing is you really have to understand how to not be selfish. You can't be a first lady and be selfish. You have to really be committed. And the other thing is you better know how to pray. If you don't, those are three things that you can't be selfish, and you got to know how to pray, and you must be committed. It requires all of that. So the fancy hats and the glamour and all that, and you don't have time to get on your knees, and you're really being selfish, and you don't know how to pray. That's not the role for you. If you want to be effective, those are the three things that you just can't come with. So I'm praying continuously on myself that I can walk in that role that God saw fit to put me in. And I don't want to be an embarrassment to my husband or to the Lord. So I just kind of wanted to get that out since you allowed me this opportunity to get that out. I wanted to say that because it's not a play thing for me. Since I got booted into that, I didn't have any other choice. I said, hey, I'm going to make the best of this. And I believe that with any leader or any leadership role, I'm big on leading by precept and example. You don't just say it, but you do it. And I try to prove that, and I try to live by that, so I just wanted to get that part out. And so we're over with that.
No, but I love it though, because I heard, your compassion for other women, because that's how it started out for you and wanting to help them. And I'm glad you pointed out that it was nothing new to you. You had been doing this, whether it was on the telephone or whatever. You were just using the latest forms of technology to do it when you started blogging and everything. I do want to ask if your daughter's on real quick, if she can place in the comment section, how they can find your information, your blogs, and all of that. So Gabrielle, sure. I'm not sure if you're on there. Can you please type that in? Because I want them to be able to find you. You say you have a lot of stuff that's coming down the pipeline, and I want them to be able to follow you and support you in what you're doing. So Gabrielle, when you get a chance, if you can do that for us, I would appreciate it. Pastor Kenneth said, teach, Lady Lockhart. Demetrius says she is straight teaching about the truth concerning the position of being a pastor's wife. You don't just say it, you do it. That's what Linda says. Diana says, you better say that because being in that role isn't easy. And you know what, as you were talking, I was, you over here saying that some people want to be in that position. That's what I was kind of talking about earlier, wanting to be in the limelight. But I'm not trying to covet what nobody else has. Lady Lockhart, what you have, I'm not trying to covet that. God has, like you say, he called your husband and he called you. So, then you have to, allow the Lord to to do whatever he's going to do through you. But that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. And you have to know what the Lord is saying and where he's telling you to go and all of that. So thank you. That was great teaching you just did. Now, y'all, you all see what I'm talking about? Quiet lady. Oh, she's, all right.
You're funny.
But no, this is good stuff though. You're doing some good teaching as well. So you wanted to get that out the way before you go into talking about how the Lord has blessed you with a great testimony.
Yes. And some people may know because I did post it on Facebook, but back in 2018, I just had a series of back and forth, runs to the doctor, the hospital, the emergency room. It was just something. But eventually, finally, in 2018, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And I don't want to act like it wasn't a big deal, because it wasn't the kind of news that anybody would want to receive. However, I had, a lot of signs, a lot of symptoms. Well, maybe I had all of the symptoms, I'll say that. So, but I didn't share that with my husband. I kind of knew something was going on. But when I was diagnosed in 2018, and I want to say the Lord got me through that entire process because he gave me so much great peace. And I'm going to be taking some little mini sidebars, and I'm going to give a sidebar before I go into the actual testimony. But I know we only know in life, we only know where we are, but you don't know where you're going. You just don't know where you're going. So there were 3 things that kind of stood out that were important to me. And one being, it was just important. I learned at that particular time how important it was to have faith, but to also be faithful. Because God honors both. He honors both your faith and he honors your faithfulness. And the other thing, number 2, the importance was having a life that you could actually hold up to the Lord and he be pleased with it. Now, I'm not talking about just put your life up there and God's not pleased with it, but to have a life that you can hold up to God and know that he's pleased with it. That was another important thing for me. And the third final thing that was so important was what the old people would tell us growing up in church, those stored up prayers. Those 3 things through this whole process is what came out that was so important, to have. And thank God I had those things. I had a life that I could actually literally put up in the face of God, and I knew he was pleased with it. I had stored up prayers, and I said to the Lord, you can just go and get, like the old people say, and one of those prayers. You can just pick whatever you choose, because I had so much stored up there. And then we won't even talk about the faith, because the Lord started with me at the age of 9, instilling faith in me when he told me that Pastor Lockhart was going to be my husband. I was 9 years old. I couldn't spell husband backwards, but that's a whole nother segment. That's for a whole nother time. But I had the faith and I was faithful. I didn't miss anything. And when church growing up, I would literally cry if I couldn't be there, because that was in me. That was my life. I did all of the district stuff. I did all of the jurisdictional stuff. I did all of the national travel to all of the different conventions. I did all of that. When I had my daughter, I kind of paused with some things. And at the same time with having her, then the business was birthed. So of course, I was spread it out to other areas. But getting back to those points, that was a time when I couldn't pray for myself. I got that news and I literally could not pray for myself. That's why I said to the Lord, get any one of those prayers that are up there, because they're up there. I spent more time praying for my husband than I did for myself. But I told the Lord, you get those prayers. And this is how I talk to my daddy. You know, when I say daddy, the Lord knows it's on. I'm serious. Oh, she's serious now. And I said to the Lord that I may not have been able to pray for myself, but I said, here is my life. And I had at that time 47 years of a life that I had presented to you, the life of living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto you. And I just held my life up to the Lord. I never prayed about heal me. I never prayed, oh Lord, woe it is me. I just put my life in front of him. And because I knew from the age of 8, because that's when the Lord saved me, I loved the Lord and I love God's law. And here's what the Lord reminded me of. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend thee. So even cancer couldn't offend me. I just gave my whole life to the Lord. So I wasn't offended by this thing called cancer. I wasn't offended by it. But, you know, it was what it was. It was real. I didn't play it down. It actually happened. And going back, still in my sidebar, I said I prayed more for my husband, because even though I carried the disease in my body, he literally carried the trial. He carried the weight of the trial. And I spent most of my time, I promise you, praying for him, because I already knew I was going to be all right, because I had presented my life and the Lord gave me peace. Whatever was going to happen, I had peace. And that's what got me through that journey of putting, you know, my life before him. But anyway, let me get to my story, because I know that's what a lot of people want to hear. Things kind of, they started off unusual. Okay, so when I got the news, we were right, you know, like dead smack in the middle of my mother-in-law, and she was transitioning. Okay. So we were already kind of dealing with that. And my daughter, she just wasn't taking it very well. So my husband and I talked, and we knew, well, we just decided we weren't going to tell her right then. We were going to wait. And so the only other person I knew, I needed to tell my mom. But because my sister had been diagnosed with cancer 6 days prior to me being diagnosed. So I said, you know, and my mom didn't handle it well. I said, you know, I can't tell her. So it was just like, it was just me and Pastor and the Lord that knew, because I certainly wouldn't want to run the risk of telling someone else and then my mom finding out through somebody else. So it was an unusual thing, as we just had to be quiet about it, you know, and it just played out like that. And I believe the Lord just knows what he's doing. So bottom line, I had surgery in 2018, and the surgery was supposed to take 2.5 hours, and it ended up being like 5.5 hours. But the surgery was a success. Thank God. To God be the glory. My surgeon told me, she said it took a little longer because I got every crummy drop of it, you know, and I was just somewhere, you know, I was really somewhere, but I just believed God anyway. So when she told me it was a success, it didn't come as a surprise to me, because I had already put my life up before him, and I had already been faithful and had faith. So, you know, all of that, but thank God that she, you know, she said, I got it all. Well, that was good. but she then told me that they had to take tests on like 13 lymph nodes. They had to test 13. And just one lymph node came back, acting a little funny, and I always say it's always one, but that one came back and it didn't look good. So what happened was they took the test, and after taking the test, they did find other things. So just when you think, okay, the surgery went well and everything's going to be fine, you're going to recover, well, the results came back and they found something on my neck. They found something on my throat. And then they found something on my lungs. So I had to have those tests done as well. So the test we did, and the other thing she said to me was, because of the one lymph node, we're going to recommend chemo. You don't have to have it, but we're recommending it. And so we waited for the test results to come back for my neck and in my throat. They came back fairly quickly. And there was no cancer. Thank God. There was no cancer. But I did have a big knot. It was a lump that was on my neck. I mean, you couldn't see it, but you could feel it. And so my doctor, the NT doctor, told me, he says, regardless, even though it's not cancerous, we're going to have to get rid of it because we don't know what it is. And I said, Lord, because within 6 months, I had already had 6 surgeries. And I just told my daddy, listen, I don't want another surgery. And I could talk to my daddy like this. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't talk to him. Look, he's my daddy and we have a relationship, so I can talk to him like I need to talk to him. And I just told him, I don't want another surgery. And when I tell you, I'm still feeling for that knot. It just vanished. It left. I had my husband feel on this side, maybe it moved over here. It just left. And I said to the Lord, I did not want another surgery. And so what happened was the Lord, to me, he spared the doctor the time and he spared me the knife. He did just what I just said, I don't want it. I didn't even ask him not to have it. I just said, I don't even want it. Mm-hmm. And the Lord honored my statement. I'm not going to even say it was a request. He honored it. So I'm in this mode. I'm in this place. Y'all can't tell me nothing about my daddy. You can't tell me nothing about my father. There's nothing that he can't do. There's nothing that he won't do. I just believe God. So I just watch God just continue to work things out for me. Okay, so when we got to the lung situation, they had to send it out to forensics. So that took like 6 weeks. And when it came back, no cancer. I said, God, thank you. And I wasn't really expecting it to come back any other way, because I'm telling you, my faith, and some people think that faith and trust is the same thing. I beg to differ. Faith is one thing, and I think that you go in levels. You have faith, then you go from faith, you graduate to trust, and from trust, you go to rest. So I was in a resting position. I knew that God was going to do what I know that he could do. And he did just that. Okay. So the all of that, I was going through some things, but the Lord was giving me so much peace. And, if we went into the new year, which was 2019, my mother-in-law did make her transition, and my sister, we found out she could not have chemo because of other medical conditions. So her cancer started to kind of spread or whatever. But at this point, because I had so much news and it was good, we decided we were going to tell Gab. So we sat her down, we talked to her, about it and brought her up to speed. And she was going, Mommy, And she said, and then we told her about the chemo. And my husband had said to me, whatever decision you make, I'm going to stand with you. Whatever. If you want to take it, if you don't want to take it, I'm just standing with you. So I hadn't told him, but I had in my mind told myself, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to have it, because I'm just going to go on and this is over right here. And so when we talked to Gab, she said, Mommy, and she looked me dead in my eyes. And she said, just do it. Take the chemo, Mommy. And the way she looked at me, if you're a mother, any mothers out there that understand. And at that moment, I heard what she said to me, but more importantly, I heard everything that she did not say to me. Mm-hmm. And that was where I made my decision, because I knew my baby was talking to me, and I heard her, even though she didn't say all the other things. And so I made the decision, I'm gonna do it for the vine. You know how they're gonna do it for the vine. So we went through 8 months of chemotherapy, and it was just nothing but God that got us through it. And I told the Lord, here I go telling my daddy again. Yeah. I said, now, if I decide and I'm going to go ahead and take this chemo, this is what I want. I don't want to miss one Sunday out of service, not one. And I knew I had to go 8 months. And I'd heard how, chemo can be, and, on your body, and how but I still put in my request. And since he was answering everything else, I said, let me throw this in. I don't want to miss one Sunday. And I'm telling you, I did not miss one Sunday. And one Sunday in particular, I got up, I got my shower, and I was getting ready to get dressed. And I just started feeling so bad. I had no strength, no energy. I was just there. So I kind of laid across the bed, and my baby came in, and she said, Mommy, what's wrong? I said, I can't do it today. I just can't do it. I can't move. And I didn't want her to bother her dad. I said, just don't say anything to your dad. And he was preparing, the message and all the things that the Lord had given him. I'm telling you, that's 5 different segments, because it just is. Wow. But I didn't want her to disturb him. And so I just laid there, and then she said, but Mommy, when my baby finished pouring into me, you would have thought she was her daddy pouring in, because she just poured life into me. And when she finished talking, I said, well, at least I can hold my head up. Maybe I'll try and get dressed. And I said, but listen, Gab, you're going to have to put my eyebrows on fleek, because she does my eyebrows. I said, you're going to have to put them on fleek, do something extra. I don't know if you have to bend it, just put me on fleek. And I said that because I never wanted to look the way I was feeling. I never wanted, people to look at me and see that something was going on with me. Because, I don't want to walk around saying I'm serving a great big God, and then I come out looking like, woe is me. No. If you're going to give me strength, Lord, to get up from out of this bed, then put my eyebrows on fleek, Gab, and I'm going. I made it to service that day, and I couldn't do much, but I just sat in God's presence. And I'm telling you, I did not miss one Sunday. The church didn't find out until a day or two before Facebook found out. They didn't know what was going on, but the Lord got me through that. And then it was one thing to be going through what you're going through yourself, but then during that time, I had 7 relatives to pass, and 6 of, maybe 4 of them passed from the same disease. And in the interim, you know, it was a lot of stuff going on, you know, even in my mind, because I'm already going through what I'm going through. But then there were so many other things outside of what I was going through. But the Lord gave me great peace. And so and I'm skipping on and saying, when I got to July was my birthday. And so Pastor gave me an all-white birthday party. And I was actually on chemo at that time, but the Lord gave me strength and he got me through even that. I invited people to come, but I was not just celebrating another birthday. I was literally celebrating life because of all that I had experienced, all that I had gone through, you know, everywhere the Lord had brought me so far. And I literally, you know, was saying, Lord, if I make it to 55, I know this is going to be you. And so when he allowed that to happen, I even got me a little slogan. I was like 55 and I'm still alive. And it was for real, because I knew everything that I had gone through prior to. So I had this great celebration, and, you know, and I'm getting nearer and nearer to completion of the chemo. But, you know, the Lord had done that, and I didn't take it lightly, because, you know, I didn't have to be celebrating life, but I did. And so 6 days later, and something with this 6, it just freaks me out. But 6 days later, my sister passed away. And so that was hard. And I'm not going to say it was harder on me than my mom or my other siblings or her husband or her children, but it affected me so badly because the enemy, he really came in at that point. He just charged in at my mind. He really wanted to get in my head. And I mean, all in the middle of the night and all day, you know, I'm already dealing with her death, but he's working on my mind. And he came in and had the audacity to try to run a guilt trip on me. You know, oh, you know, you gonna, you know, you know, your sister died, and you just celebrating this white party as if, you know, you should be dead too, and you're celebrating, and then she passes away from, you know, the same disease, this cancer thing. He was trying to get in my head, but I said, devil, you know, you're a lie. He came and he started saying things like, you know, cancer runs in your family on both sides. Your mama, your daddy is real strong. And, you know, this one had cancer, and that one had cancer, and your sister just died from cancer. And you know what? You're going to die. I said, listen, devil. I said, listen, let me just tell you something. We all going to die. Okay? We all going to die. I had my moment with him. I said, so now what is your point? Because it ain't over until God says it's over. I'm not going to be finished until God is finished with me. And then I'm finished with me. And it's going to work the same way for everybody. When God is done with us, it's over. So how you coming at me, trying to make me feel guilty or make me feel like I'm going to die? You don't have that type of authority. The only thing God gave you permission to do was to touch my body, but you can never touch my life. You can't touch my life. So I said, get out of my face and get under my feet. Matter of fact, I began to rebuke the devil. I cast them out. I sent them to the lake. You go back to the sender. You have no right to come at me. And when I know that greater is in me than that's in the world, you are no match for the greater that resides on the inside. So you just be gone. I mean, we had our time. You know, you got a lot of nerve to try to come up on me like that. And so I said, even in saying all of that, a lot of times we don't talk back, but the devil was talking at me. I learned how to talk back. We talk back to everybody else. But when he come at us, you know, we allow him to punk us out. I said, well, you got the right one this time, because you will never punk me out. You are under my feet. And I began to walk in authority, and I began to speak the word. And the more I speak the word, the more life came into me. You know, so I'm just like, be gone. Be gone. So the enemy tried it. And I know I'm just going on and on and on. And anytime you want to stop me, just raise your hand. But when I think about it, and I'm telling you on your show to raise your hand.
You know what? I'm so wrapped up in what you're saying that I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm in church. I feel like I'm somewhere else, but you are really talking today, and you're encouraging. One thing I did want to point out, you mentioned about how you really weren't telling individuals what you were dealing with. And even your own church didn't find out until, a few days before everybody else found out. But that just showed me the poise and the grace that God gave you. But you also started off this entire testimony by mentioning about those three things. And one of them was, presenting a life to God that he's pleased with. And you didn't necessarily have to say, Lord, heal me. You just presented your life. That made a humongous difference. I know it did. And God looked on that. Ooh, don't you give me to see you. You know what? I'm telling you, somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear it, because we don't know, especially in this day and time that we're living in now, even in this pandemic, they can take, the things that you're saying now and apply it to whatever it is that they're dealing with, maybe personally or family or what otherwise. And then when you slid on over and said how you talk back to the enemy. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Yesterday, and I'll tell my listeners, yesterday, Lady Lockhart and I, we had a scheduled time that we were going to come on and do a test run. I had to message her and I said, can we push it back? Because I had to take care of something. Well, I didn't tell her I was in so much pain and I wasn't feeling well at all. And I said, and I'm just squirming around and I'm like, oh, all of a sudden something rose up in me. I said, devil, no, you gonna take your hands off of me. I started walking up and down in this house and rebuking the pain. I started rebuking everything. Yes. And I thank God, by the time we got on our test run, I wasn't feeling that pain. And God. you just have to talk. He talks to you sometimes. I tell him, get out of my ear, stop talking to me. But you have to take that control. And I and as I was praying, I said, God has given me authority over you. Yes. You have to realize and understand what God has given us. So I'm so glad you mentioned, you talked about that. That's such a great testimony. Real quick, they are throwing up hearts and thumbs up here. They are really enjoying you. Sherry says, won't she give you chills? Yes, she will, Sherry. Tanya, I see you on. Thanks for watching. Pastor Kenneth said, you can't punk us. Brenda said, we ain't no punk. Yes, I love it. I love it. They are enjoying this. Learn how to talk back. Yes. All right. I love this. I'm seeing you guys. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. It looks like they're just commenting. Now, if you guys do have any questions for Lady Lockhart on today, I can ask them, and then we can see if we can have her address them on today. But they are throwing up their love. I want you to know that, Lady Lockhart, and they are really enjoying, as I am as well. So let's see. You wanna take us through, because I know you have a lot of stuff you want to continue on telling us.
Well, and Annette, and the other piece that I didn't say when I was talking about the devil was trying to come at my mind, and that's what he attacks first. And I really got vicious, because I know it's with a mind that I serve God. So if you get in my mind, I we're gonna have some problems there. So I was fighting, because I'm like, you can't have my mind, because that's the only, I gotta serve God. That's the bottom line. And I'm gonna have to have my mind to serve him. And then I start throwing out scriptures, he'll keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on him, and I just started going at it with the mind things. And, you know, the Lord kept my mind, because I know people who have gone through similar things, and, you know, they sitting there rocking in the chair, you know, but I'm sitting up straight and got my right mind. It's all glory goes, you know, to God, because it's because of him, period. Bottom line, I can't take no glory, you know, in nothing. It just all goes to God. But I'm just so grateful for that. And as you were talking, you reminded me of something that I had shared with the church when I was telling them about my testimony, because you just never know what people are going through. You just have no idea. Like, they were coming and telling me, I never would have thought that there was no signs. You don't know what people are going through. So I'm saying today, my message is, and I used, don't get sideways on folk, because you don't know what people are going through. So how dare you get sideways on anybody? And even if you don't know, you don't have to know, you know, what people are going through. And don't presume and don't assume, because you don't know. And I learned through my own self, people will tell you what they want you to know, and they will only show you what they want you to see. So, I mean, we got to lose that. And, you know, life is about more than just us. Life can't just be about you, you know, especially when you don't have a clue, you know, get a clue, you know, get a clue, stop it. And all this, you know, my biggest thing, all these isms and these schisms, I rebuke all of that. There is no time for that. And if I haven't had a rude awakening, I've had a rude awakening. And I realize, gonna be 56 this year, the Lord says the same. I know I have more time behind me than I do in front of me. So I'm just wanting to do what God wants me to do, and just to please him. And I do realize we're never going to please man and please all the people. And if you ask me one other thing about myself, I ain't trying to please folk. I'm just trying to please God. So if I ain't pleasing you, I ain't even apologizing for that, because I gotta please God. You know, I gotta please God. So we gotta get rid of all of this stuff. And I remember talking to one of the members, because we had a campaign, a love campaign going on. And I remember, and we were talking about love heals. And I told her, I said, yeah, love heals. Love heals it, but prayer seals it. So that's what we ought to always be doing, praying for one another, and just keep on spreading the love. And all that other extra stuff, and whoever wrote that, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay? You hear me?
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? And they call me the real first lady. Yeah, you know, and I hear my daughter talking, so I'm like, oh, you're picking up what I'm putting down? You know, let's.
I love it. I love it.
And yes, you know, they always refer to me as Kenny Lockhart's wife, and that I am. I'm proud to be that. And this man has really, ever since I've known him, God has used him to just do so many things in my life, you know, to just get, you know, he got me to a lot of places. And I mean, just beginning with being 9 and the Lord saying he's going to be my husband, and I'm trusting that. And he used this man, and he's continuously using him to surge me into, you know, my destiny, my purpose. And I'm just living out, you know, my purpose, and I'm just walking in my destiny. And you talking about a cool feeling. I mean, that feels so good when you know you walking it and you know you talking it, baby. Let me tell you, it's on. Annette, I could be going on and on and on and on with that. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna close this. I do have a little more about my testimony that I want to share, but I just had those little sidebars, you know, that I was throwing in. But getting back to
keep going.
My testimony. How much time we got?
Keep going.
Okay, well, I'm almost done. I don't want to run you over your show.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, well, this is one other thing I wanted to share. After getting through all of that up to this point, we got to the last treatment. Now, mind you, my husband was there for everything. Every doctor's appointment, every procedure, every surgery, every chemo treatment. He never left me alone. I mean, he was just there. And the last treatment, he woke up that morning and he was saying, maybe you won't have to have this last one. And it was something that wasn't resting well in his spirit. I just say that. And so I'm thinking in my mind, I know we didn't get to this last treatment. And he's saying, maybe you won't need it. And then he just wasn't resting in his spirit. But anyways, we went to the last treatment. And like I said, he would not leave me, maybe just to go to the corner. It wouldn't be 5 minutes to get us some soup or something to eat while I was having the treatments. This particular day, he had an errand to run and it was going to take maybe 20 minutes. And my treatments were like 2 hours plus or whatever. So he says, I'll be back. And I said, okay. So, they got me all set up and everything. And the treatments got it started. He stayed there until, they got everything rolling and, I was doing good. And then he left to make his 20-minute run, which he had never done before. And so I started having a reaction to the treatment. And it was so bad. They were just pumping me with all kinds of meds and just going. And I was just sitting there, just like sliding out of the chair. I was basically just lifeless. I remember when my doctor came in and she says, oh my God, I gotta get you to the hospital. I gotta get you. I was just, it was like, I was just leaving out of my body. And it was so bad. And I could hear her calling my husband and saying, don't come here, meet us at XYZ hospital and blah, 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 blah. And I could just only imagine because I'm always praying for him. Still not praying for myself. I'm praying for this man because I realized he was carrying the weight of the trial. He literally carried the trial. And I was just praying for him. And I'm sitting here just like feeling like I should say my goodbyes because I just felt like life was leaving my body. And the devil, here he come again. And I thought we had already talked and maybe I wasn't clear. He came in and really the enemy was trying to snatch me out of here. And I guess he figured because my husband wasn't here that he could come and snatch me. But I'm like, you so dumb, devil. I'm still covered. I'm still covered. He don't have to be here. We pray every morning together. I don't care if he's out of town. He calls in and we pray. We have our family prayer. We do nothing. We don't leave the house. We don't leave each other. I was covered. And I said, here you go again, trying to fool yourself because that's all he was doing. But needless to say, I had to remind the devil again, you can only touch my body, but you cannot touch my life. And so here I am. Even though I thought I was leaving here I am. I sit here today. And I'm telling y'all, God is real. And I don't care what nobody says. He is real. And he continues to prove himself to me. And then I came out with the message that God answered cancer. Oh, he can do that. He did that for me. And so here the devil come again. Well, most times when people have cancer, it can come back. I was like, let me turn my back because you ain't talking about nothing. You're not talking about nothing. I said, okay, if it comes back, the same God that healed it before can kill it again. So I be trying to understand what's your point, devil. And I know he just like, well, let me go on and find somebody else. God works miracles. And if you want to see a miracle, Oh, you're looking at one today. I am a miracle, and God has been so good. He has favored me, and now I'm on a mission. I told the Lord yes, and I don't care what nobody's saying. I'm going to do whatever he's saying, and it don't matter who like it. It don't matter who don't like it. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to work while it is day, because when night comes and I close my eyes, I won't be able to do anything. So I thank you, Annette, for allowing me to share this with you and your audience on this morning. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. And now I know, I think what you're doing, I think you're trying to limit what you want to tell us today, because I know you have a whole lot, a whole lot more to share. But you know what? I just appreciate, again, your transparency and everything that you dealt with. As much as you wanted to share with us, I appreciate that, because again, as I stated earlier, you don't know who you're helping. Your heart, your big heart for women, and wanting to make sure that they're addressed and whatever needs that they have are addressed. Your experience, how can you relate your experience to them, and what could they learn from what the Lord allowed you to go through?
Okay, well, I want to start here where I was going when I was talking about single ladies. And, any woman, if you're a real woman, you desire companionship. You want a spouse. And so my encouragement would be, though, to get the right spouse, because anything, salvation is the predominant thing. And next to that, it is companionship. It's your choice of who you get to live with that will make a total difference in your whole life. Because I believe that if you're in the will of God, that is a safe place. So a lot of times, we're eager because we think we're getting left out, or we're left behind, or we want to have a husband because someone else has a husband, and you end up running into a brick wall because you didn't wait on God. And my thing is, I know, because God told me at 9 that Pastor Lockhart was going to be my husband, but common sense said, girl, it's not going to happen today. Okay, I was 9. So I had to wait. I was 27 before the Lord fulfilled his promise. But my thing is, I got who God had for me. And life then becomes wonderful. I mean, because when you're in the will of God and your life is in the will of God, that's such a key important factor. Because had I turned left, I wouldn't have gotten it right. My life wouldn't be on the path that it is today if I had gotten the wrong mate. And that's the thing the devil comes in and tries to deceive the single women with. Oh, just go get John because he has a nice suit on, and his hair is wavy, and like my husband said, his eyes turn gray at nighttime, and all of this. That's good, but you want to have, you want to hook up with who God has for you, because I'm telling you, it's safety there, and then your life is it just flows from that point. It just flows. And that, for women, the single ones, that's my real passion. And if they had to learn anything from me, learn that I waited on the Lord. And I know I got who God had for me. Now, it may not have been the world's choice, but it was God's choice. And I accepted it. He accepted it. And we all right with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Life is real good. And I like to promote that. But it was because I waited. Now, I won't say I didn't have other guys looking at me, but I wasn't interested because I knew what God had said. So it was like, okay, I talked to somebody, and I wasn't really out playing around with guys, and no, you're not. I just didn't get involved in it like that, because I knew who God had for me. So I waited. And that would be my key element, not just waiting on the man, but waiting on God to give you directions about anything in your life that concerns you. I don't care if it's a new job, a new home, whatever it is that you're endeavored to do. We have to be patient enough to wait on God. And don't make your moves, because God will allow you to have, his permissive will. And then you got to go deal with whatever comes with that permissive will. But if you're willing to wait on his perfect will, then you're only reaping benefits from that. So for women, I just caution, and that's just the message all the way across the board, learning how to wait on God and to hear his voice. And I hear my husband, and I tell him, and I've heard him say it, allow God's voice to be the loudest voice in your ears. Mm-hmm. You can't listen to all this, everything, but his voice needs to supersede everybody else's voice. And, so that message was just waiting. If you could just have a little patience, if you could just trust God, because all of that was part of me trusting him, because I waited from 9 to 27. I waited all the time. People, and then the other thing is, I told a lot of people. Oh. And I didn't know no better. I was young, I was little. So you telling somebody, and then it's looking like he ain't even thinking about her. Because first of all, Pastor Lockhart wasn't even saved.
Okay.
But the Lord told me that. And I said, well, now if you're going to give him to me, I know you're going to save him. But it just looks so crazy. It sounds so crazy to everybody else, because he was out there living his life. And I was just living saved. And it was like, they were saying things like, I'm afraid she's going to lose her mind and she's going to go crazy and different things like this. And I'm just like, no, that's not going to happen, because I know what God said. So I waited and I trust God, and I took him at his word. I just took him at his word. So that's what I would want to share with women. Wait, trust God, believe him, and take him at his word. Because whatever he's saying, he's not a God that he should lie. I mean, he's not going to lie to you. So you take him at his word. And then for the millennial guys, my message to them would be, and it's not just experience, but my message would be to them, you're around here, dating every Sally, Cynthia, and Sue. Why? You gotta try it before you buy it. And then you're not into this woman. You don't have any plans of a future with her, but then you're gonna waste her time. You're gonna break her heart and all of this stuff. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You get somewhere and then you go find her. Like the Bible says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Mm-hmm. Go spy her out. Find her and then settle up. All this roaming around and all that traffic, and I'm not with that. Yes, I'm not with that. So to encourage people, just hear the Lord, and you don't go wrong when you're hearing God and you're listening to him.
Yes, beautiful. Oh, I love that, and I love how you again summarize that, because one of my favorite scriptures is that all things work together for good. So if you wait on God, this is what I'm hearing from what you just said. If you wait on God, then he's going to, direct you throughout your life, because you heard the Lord at age 9. Now, what if you had just went on and just said, okay, well, he's not paying attention to me. Like you said, he was out there doing his thing and wasn't even saved at the time. And then that could discourage you. And you're like, nah, maybe I did hear him. I'm only 9 years old. But see, here you are, well, you said 27 when you got married, but years later, when you had to deal with this illness, your spouse is important.
Absolutely.
He was there with you, helping you to go through, preaching, probably encouraging you, like you said, he wouldn't let you leave his side, basically. Those 20 minutes, but then we know that God had all that in his control as well. But see, that's again why it's so important to wait on the Lord. If you had not got somebody else, you might not even be here now.
That's right.
That's
so right. And I said, even in all of that, what you said is so true. I just couldn't even imagine going through what I went through and not having the right spouse. It just, it just wasn't gonna be the way it ended up being. And I said, I even told the church, you know, I said, I thank God for my Shiro, my baby, and I thank God for my hero, which is my husband. But more importantly, I thank God for my trio, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, because I never, for real, would have made it without them. So you are absolutely right. And another thing that I was thinking about as you were talking, for even the women who are married, you know, because I had prayed and, you know, and I told Lord, I've lived my life and I've been saved, you know, from a little girl. All I know is you and da-da-da-da. And so you say you're going to bless me with this man. And I just want to save man so we can, you know, save family and all this and all that. And so when I was dating Pastor Lockhart, we were dating. And, you know, I just loved him from 9, okay? But when we started dating, and I said, you know, he's a little different, you know, but I said, hey, I'm different too. So we rocking and rolling with that. And so it got to one day in particular, I just want to share this. I think it was Valentine's Day. And so he called me and he said, you know, I'm going to be bringing you your chocolate or your flowers or whatever in a few days later after Valentine's Day. And I'm like, who does that? You know, in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. And so he said, I'm on a consecration. He was fasting for those. Well, no, he was on a denial. So when he came off or whatever, it was going to be over the weekend. And I said, oh, okay. So I said, okay, no problem. And then it rolled around and I think it was some kind of barbecue time. So I don't know if it was, you know, Memorial Day or if it was the 4th of July. But he said, I'm not going to be able to come over, spend the holiday with you because I'm on a 3-day fast. And I'm going, you know what? This man is strange. You know, I'm saying to myself, I thought I was strange. You know, hold on. You got a nice little woman friend and you on a 3-day fast and it's the holiday, you know. But I was like, okay. And I saw, but I stopped and I told God, I said, well, you know, I know that I asked you for a saved man. So what I was seeing, God was allowing me to see what he was about to bless me with. And I said, some women can't stand it or they don't even want to hear you say, I want a man who loves God more than he loves me. But that's what I wanted. That's what I asked God for. And a lot of people couldn't handle that. You know, I shared with one of my girlfriends. She said, I'm not letting no man love God more than he loved me. I said, no, you want a man who loves God more than he loves you. Because guess what? If he loves God, God is going to teach him how to treat you. He needs to love God more than he loves you. So even in marriage and just coming together. And so when we did get married, you know, some things I had, you know, kind of understood about him, you know, I called it strange in the beginning, but then I grew to really appreciate the Lord. And so when we got married, and I tell some people this story, and I said, you know, like maybe 3 nights later or something, you know, we still on our honeymoon or whatever. And he just, I woke up because he was speaking in tongues in his sleep. I mean, just and I'm thinking he's calling me and saying something, and he's just like gone. I mean, in. And I said, oh my, I got a whole lot of stuff to get used to around here because I was not accustomed to hearing somebody, you know, in their sleep. But I said, God, I thank you. And I just really appreciate God and I appreciate the anointing that's on his life. I just appreciate the Lord for all that he's done. And I'm saying all that to say, you just want to do and get the right thing, you know. And if you got the right thing, even if you don't understand it, learn how to understand it. That's you know, right. Even now, he'll break out now. If he's break out speaking in tongue or praying in his sleep. It's like, oh, I'm used to that now. I'm accustomed to that. And I know he's not strange and there's nothing wrong with him. And I appreciate the Lord for just, thinking about me and putting me together with this man. And I say a lot of ladies were, when we were dating, they were, ooh, Kenneth Lockhart. And I'm just going, if they had gotten with Kenneth Lockhart, they wouldn't even know how to handle this man. God prepared me for him. And the same thing I say for me. I don't think no man out there could handle me other than him. I mean, it was ordained before the foundations of the world. It's for real. I'm settled on it. Beautiful. I'm settled on it. So I really, in my heart, I want every woman to experience what I experienced because I know it's real. Yeah. And it can happen. Right. Because it is happening with me every day.
Yeah. That is so beautiful. That is beautiful. Now, how long have you all been married?
It will be 29 years in September this year.
Wow.
29 short year.
Listen, there's a message here on Facebook. He says, do you have to tell it all? That was Pastor Kenneth.
He know I didn't tell it all.
But it's okay. We got you. We know you serious, Pastor Kenneth. We understand that. Let me hop over here. Anthony Knowles is watching. Thanks for watching, cousin. We appreciate you. Deanna Adams. And I'm trying to scroll back up and make sure I didn't miss anyone. Pastor CC, I thank you for watching as well. Denise says, wait on him. Don't go before him. He can do it all by himself. Love it. Coley Cole, thanks for watching. And they said, you're keeping it real again. Yes, she is. I am really enjoying all of this. Jeannie Palmer, thank you. We appreciate you for watching. Adele DeBose, LaShonda Lewis, Barbara Green, Elder McGee, Gwen Gaston Gray, thanks for watching. Let's see here. And I'm just trying to go back and recognize if some of you are just now joining us. Alicia Bird, I see you. Thanks for watching. We're talking today. We're doing our ministry spouses segment on today, and we featured Lady Marichael Lockhart. And for a minute there, the enemy got mad and tried to throw our audio out, but that's just because we were beating them over the head. And if you are just now joining us, you missed a powerful testimony already by Lady Lockhart and things that she had to deal with, what she went through in her body physically. She really got down to it, but she threw in all that teaching along with it as well. And she stirred it all up in the pot. And we received on today. I think your daughter put on here for me where we can find your information. And that's what I want people to make sure that they go to so they can continue to keep up with you. I saw somebody's comment on here where you were talking about the single ladies. I was trying to get back to it. Let me see. Where did it go? Where did it go? All right. I think they were excited or encouraged about what you were saying. I think someone said that that's how they want their husband to be. So, we want you are a good example. You are a good example. And again, like she said, we can't stress enough waiting on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. Allow him to do it. Allow him to direct you because he's the only one that can. I want to do this real quick. I want to play this spoken word that Elder Kevin McGee pens for us on a weekly basis. The Lord blesses him to pen a spoken word, pertinent to the day's topic. And I'm going to play this. Let me know if you can hear it. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it, Lady Lockhart. Give me a second. I'm going to turn it up for you.
say when glory has been a part of one's life, destined for greatness, divine providence positioning you in places where you need to be. As the hand of the master appoints and anoints you to imagine images in your mind, bringing those images to life, creating open doors of opportunity, glory leads you. A glory that will make everything new. And so you go where no other one has gone. Soaring high on the new glory enterprise, utilizing the same creativity to change lives, hanging out and blogging with your sisters about the cares of life and the need to get serious, working feverishly and sometimes spilling tea while you're at it. Yet the glory that leads you still stands. For you see, it's a ministry that was ordained with you in mind. If glory had an heir, it is you. So go forth and let it shine as God shines his glory through you. Even as you walk through this world that is in the throes of chaos, today is a good time to be alive. Because when it's all said and done, glory will have manifested itself in you, and when everything else fails, you will stand tall with a mantra that has always guided you: saved, subject, and successful.
Wow. Wow, that was awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
I always am grateful for how the Lord uses that young man. Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
Good.
Yes, I love that.
I'm glad you were able to hear it and that it was a blessing. Somebody says real good stuff. So Elder Kevin McGee, I think I saw you on. So thank you again for doing it again every week, the spoken word. And he was hitting some points in there. He got you.
Yes.
Subject. And I said, and he talked about blogging. Yeah, definitely.
That was great. That was awesome.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I love that.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're commenting on here. Okay, so with everything that you have told us on today or talked about to us, what do you want to leave us with? Is there maybe something, I don't know, in your notes that you want to leave us with, or something just encouraging? Again, I know that what you have shared with us is definitely a blessing to someone else. Whether we, take it in now or have to use it now rather, or like my late pastor used to say, sometimes we may have to put it on the shelf and then pull it back down, whenever we need it.
Right.
What do you want to leave with my listeners on today and myself?
Okay. Well, basically, Annette, I learned this even through the trial and everything that I went through, that it didn't matter, about the affliction or how deep your trial is or how dark your situations may appear. You still have purpose. There's still a reason for you to live and to be alive. And in spite of everything that I went through, I realized, even in being sick, and I shared it with some of the members, I would just be leaving chemo. And they would call me and I would pick the phone up just like I was supposed to. Even though I was afflicted, I still knew that I had purpose. And it is so important to understand, regardless to what's happening in your life, what you may go through or what you may experience, God is saying, if he left you here like he left me, there is still purpose for your life. So my endeavor is, just get to your purpose, define your purpose, and reach your destiny. Whatever God has destined for your life to be, I encourage any and every one, get to the point of destiny. And the only way to get there is that you work out and serve your purpose.
Ooh, we love it. And you know what? Again, we're in such a crucial time right now that there are many who may not have experienced, having cancer in their body or sickness or whatever. But what you just said and what you share with us on today can definitely be applied to whatever, just like you said, whatever it is you're dealing with. I hear reports about so many individuals now, even going through this pandemic, who are so discouraged. They, some of them can't provide for their families, or some of them are out there on the front lines. They're scared themselves. I've heard of suicides, even during this time now. But like you said, if we would understand our purpose and what God has put within us, if you don't know, go talk to him, pray, I'm sure he will open it up to you. But that is so key. And I'm so glad that you left us with that. I'm so glad. So
yeah. And one other thing, Annette, if I could just remind the people, yes, that if God brings you to it, God can bring you through it. I'm a living witness. I'm not talking about what I heard or what I read. I'm talking about what I experienced. If he leads you to it, he will bring you through it.
Yes, beautiful. I agree. I stand with you on that. Amen. Okay, so tell everybody where they can find the ministry and even the business again, for those that are just not joining us now. Where can they find? Because of course, everybody's pretty much doing whether it's online
right,
services or whatever. Talk about where they can find the church, and then also what you're offering with the business.
Okay, well, our church is located in Dalton, Illinois, 833 East 158th Street in Dalton, Illinois. And our website is www.glorycathedral.org. You can go on there and they can find out all the things that are happening with the church on the church website. And our company is New Glory Enterprise. We're also located in that same location, 833 East 158th Street. And the email address is newglory3@yahoo.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And also, if they're interested in following along with me on the Let's Get Serious blog, if they're Facebookers, they can go to Let's Get Serious and they'll find the like page they can like and follow. I'd be more than happy to have them.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys, you do not want to miss anything she's got going on. She got me excited when she said she's got some things coming up. And I would read some of her Facebook posts and it would just blow my mind. All I would do is use the wow emoticon. Because when you seem like the type of person to me, when you sit down and you get the writing, it's all over at that point. That's what it seems from what I've read.
Annette, and I didn't talk about this part, but I guess maybe I was about 8 or 9 when I started writing poems.
Oh.
And I would just get these poems, they would just flood me. And I would just write them and I would share and let some people read them. And one of the deacons now at King of Glory, he said, "Can you just bring me some more of your poems? They're so good." And I started thinking, what am I going to be, a poet? Writing again has always been a part of me. So I really enjoy writing. And sometimes things are coming to me and I'm like, Lord, in the middle of the night, I'm getting my phone and I'm just typing in my notes. And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this at that point, but I'm just typing what I'm hearing, and then it could end up being a blog or could end up being something else. But that's just something the Lord gave me. I enjoy doing it. It's one of my passions, and you probably don't think it after today, but I would prefer to write than to talk. Seriously, but I enjoy writing.
Good. I know with myself, sometimes that's the only way for me to get my real thoughts out, if I sit down and write. But I have to take my time with it. I can't rush, take my time and write. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, well, great. I'm so excited. Thank you again so much. I know I bugged you. I bugged her like, and she finally said yes. And I said, Jesus, it was well worth the wait.
Oh, man.
Well,
I'm sorry I kept you waiting so long, but the Lord has his time.
That's right.
It's his time. And so we said yes to the Lord. As long as he's leading, I'm following.
Definitely. And you're a serious person. So I knew that whenever you did say, yeah, it was going to be fun. Let's see. Oh, good. Thank you so much. They put down, if you enjoy my first lady, please go like and follow her Let's Get Serious Facebook page. Okay. The blogs are amazing. Wonderful. I see you, Tradana. Elder McGee, we played your spoken word, so thank you.
Awesome.
Did enjoy it. Janetta Franklin is on. Thank you so much. And they're saying, well done, Lady Lockhart. And thanks to your church members for joining on today and hopping in and supporting. That's support. You hear me?
Amen.
That's support. I love it. I love it. Someone said, that's my first lady, even though I live in Michigan. Love her. Diana. All right. I'm seeing all your comments. So again, if you're just now joining us, you're going to have to rewind so that you can get the entire interview on today. And I'm telling you, she went in on with what God has given her. But, again, I thank you for your transparency. I thank you for taking time out on today and appreciate you. And I bid you Godspeed and everything you go to say and do. Much love to you and Pastor Kenneth. Much love to Gabrielle. Much love to your church family. I'll say this before we end. I was looking on Facebook the other day, and it was another sign that your church family loves you when they did the drive-by your house. Oh. Yes. It's simply because they missed their pastor and
wow,
First Lady. I was like in tears. I was like, oh, that is so sweet.
It was awesome.
They gave you gifts. It was just so beautiful. But all I saw was love. When I saw that, that's all I saw was love. And I thought that was absolutely wonderful. So it's a testament to how you all carry yourselves in the Lord. So continue on.
Yes, ma'am. And they are some lovely people. We love GCM, and they got us again. This was the second time this year they surprised us. Really? But we love our church family. And Annette, we love you, and thank you so much for having little old me. I miss seeing you in the shop, but we'll be back together again. I just appreciate the opportunity. I'm very humbled by it. And again, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Pastor Kenneth that's always my big brother there. So we always appreciate how the Lord has blessed him down through the years to be a blessing to somebody else as well. And even coming over to Abounding Life, even our last project, helping us out. Woo! And he would bring it out of you too. He would bring it out. But I appreciate that though. So just thank you all so much. And I'm sending my love. And you all stay safe. Okay.
You do the same. You do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Great job. So we're going to get out of here, guys. And again, I just want to thank each of you for your support on today, for coming in, joining us for another session of Mind, Body, and Soul. I have plenty of individuals who love when we do the Ministry Spouses segment, and this was another blessed session. So thank you again. Please make sure you join me on next week. We'll come back again 12 noon Central Standard Time next week. I will feature a guest, actually like a Facebook phenomenon. J. Allen Greer will be on with me, and I will be discussing some pertinent information with you. And we'll have our promos up, so make sure you watch out for those. Go to my website. There you should find past shows, past guests, information on there as well. You should also see I have started on my YouTube channel. I'm sitting down, I'm talking with you personally one-on-one, blessing you with what the Lord has given me. So there are links to my YouTube channel so that you can subscribe, and so that you would keep up with me and everything that we're doing over there. The Lord is blessing. He's doing great things. And again, I just thank you all so much for taking time out on today and joining me and my guests. So we're going to get out of here, and appreciate you guys again for taking time out with Mind, Body, and Soul.